Alright, it is Wednesday, March the 2nd. Getting ready to get started on the Daily Dose, episode 9, I believe. I could be off. I gotta make sure I keep up with these things. You guys, I'm shooting from home today. I feel like I'm getting a cold, so decided to stay at home. Not feeling great today. I think the weather changes here in Gainesville messing me up. Getting cold, hot, chest not feeling great. But the Daily Dose must go on. So I'm actually gonna be holding the phone today, so it may be moving a little bit. I left my it's pollen. No, I feel sick. I feel like I'm getting sick. I could barely sleep last night. I don't know what's going on, but it doesn't matter. It's all good. If you guys don't, oh, it's a bee. If you guys don't know Jeff Evans, the CrossFit, find him on Facebook, friend him. Jeff, do you have a page? Jeff, do you have a athlete page? If Jeff has an athlete page, hopefully he'll post that link. You guys should like him. He's I like him a lot. Stand-up guy, works super hard, right? That's the thing I like about him most. You know, although he's extremely good looking, that's not really why I like him. He works super hard. We met a few years ago at some big times. I do. He does, but he never uses it. All right, man, whatever. I'm trying to get you some fans, man, so people can see that hard work. You waking up at the butt crack of dawn every day, getting it done. But so today we are going to talk about staying on track. And yeah, I know he better start now. That's right. I'm giving you shout outs. You better start posting stuff on there, man. IG, I'll follow you on IG. Well, put your IG handle in the comments, Jeff. If you guys don't have Instagram, you should follow Jeff. Follow Sherm5 first before you follow Jeff. Jeff's not that good looking. But all seriously, great guy. Guy I like. Obviously, he's on here a lot, so I want you guys to get to know each other. So let's talk about. We're gonna start. All right, there's that IG handle for Jeff Evans in there. You guys are gonna see how strong he is. He picks up houses and stuff. I don't know how he does it. So we're gonna talk about the power of broke, right? We're gonna talk a little bit about it, not much, because tomorrow I am actually going to have a very special person on here with me. My first interview. I'm gonna have someone on the show with me interviewing them. I'm not gonna tell you anything about it, but they've used the power of broke to achieve some pretty good success. So it's a female, I will tell you that. So that's pretty cool. So if you haven't gotten your book, who has not gotten their book? No, who has gotten their book? I don't care if you haven't. Who has gotten their book? You got to start reading it. Power of Broke by Daymond John. I'm done reading it already. Hey, Stephanie Sinkovich is on here. Look at that. Say important things. The entire thing is important. I think this is Stephanie's first time on here, guys. Welcome, Stephanie, to the club. You know, she seems to be kind of busy at times, but let her know this is an amazing little live show every day, the Daily Dose with Sherman Merricks. So thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, Stephanie Sinkovich. Oh, Carrie has it. Great. You guys want to make sure you start reading that, because when I'm talking about it, if you're totally lost, you'll still get good stuff from it, but it'd be better if you read this book. Remember, we're trying to be game changers. We want to have people that's reading books every single month, right? So first thing we're going to talk about tips that are sort of going to help you stay motivated, right? Stay dedicated. I like the word motivated, but it could be a tricky word, because when you're motivated, you know, your emotions could be high. You could just have listened to the Daily Dose or some other awesome speaker, or watch this awesome movie, and you could be up just motivated, running around. But what happens when that motivation runs out, right? Motivation runs out, and then then it's time to be dedicated to your craft, right? So we want to be dedicated, but I like the word motivated as well, so we try to use those interchangeably, right? The first thing that we're going to do to make sure that we stay dedicated, it seems rather simple, but we have to focus, right? The first tip, we have to focus on the goal at hand. We have to focus on the task at hand, right? And when we're focusing on what we're supposed to be doing, we need to cut out all distractions, right? Whether that's social media, email, cell phones, that type of stuff. Too often people tell me that they'll work on something for 2 hours, but half of that time, or even more than half, they're responding to text message, watching cat videos on YouTube, stuff like that. And that's just a huge distraction, right? Which is why I advise you guys to get up super early in the morning, because if you wake up super early, everyone else is sleeping. You're not going to be distracted. You won't have anyone to talk to. So you can get a ton of work done. I usually get a ton of work done, you know, from between 5:30, 7, 8 o'clock, because that's before everyone starts moving around and the day gets going. Most people that get up early, they get most of their work done in that 2 or 3 hours time span, then they can all day. You don't have anyone pulling at you, so you want to make sure that you can focus on your task at hand without being interrupted. All right, so it's key that you focus, cut out all distractions, right? You guys don't forget, there was one time that we didn't have cell phones. We would actually leave the house with no cell phone, right? So when you left, your wife couldn't text you, your mom couldn't find you, you were just out in the real world by yourself, right? So even if you need to start doing that, leaving your phone in the car, whatever it takes so you can stay focused, it needs to be done, right? Trust me, when you're living your life, hitting all your dreams, rolling on full cylinders, you can play with your phone if you want to, right? Until then, don't be like everyone else and be distracted, right? The horror. Stephanie says the horror. Man, that's a pretty good thing. I'm going to start doing that later this year. I'm going to start leaving my phone, getting rid of it, right? So first thing we'll do is focus on the task at hand. That's key. The next thing, a lot of people sort of throw this around saying do what you love, but how will I use Facebook? Exactly, Dan. Exactly. Zuckerberg has us all in this big trap, and I'm jealous of him. Let's talk about this doing what you love, right? That it sounds sort of cliche, it sounds fun and stuff like that, but let's be real. If you definitely should do what you love, but you have to be able to make a living from it, right? So if you love photography and helping people work out, or making people feel better if they're sick, so you'd be a nurse, doctor, like all that stuff is fine. Those sort of typical trades or technicians that are out there. But say if you have something that's a little different, there's nothing wrong with that, but you have to make sure that you can make a living. If you cannot make a living off of it, you can't do it, right? Honestly, I don't know too many things that you couldn't make a living from. Like if you love animals, you can babysit animals all day. People pay good money for people to hang out with their dogs and cats and chimps and whatever else animals you crazy people have all day while they're at work, right? So I like the saying do what you love, but realistically make sure that you can do it for a living, right? Make sure that you can do it for a living. If you can't do it for a living, unfortunately it may just have to be a favorite pastime for sure, right? So don't get caught up in that. I'm going to do what I love and not make any money, right? One that we sort of talked about yesterday, this is one of my pet peeves. It drives me nuts. It makes me want to chop someone's head off when I hear them comparing themselves to someone else, right? That's one of the most childish, insecure things that you can do, comparing yourself to someone else, because what someone else does has nothing to do with you, right? Nothing at all, right? Whether it's a workout, a business venture, anything, don't compare yourself to other people. What they're doing, what has been put in their life is set up for them, right? There's nothing you can do about that, which is one of the great things I love about CrossFit, right? I can work as hard as I can, hard as I want to, as far as being a CrossFit athlete. Then I can only do my best. What the next guy next to me does, there's nothing I can do about that. Same thing in our daily lives. I hear it so much from people saying, oh, she did this or he did that. So what? Focus on you and taking care of your goals, and everything's going to be all right. There's no need for you to compare yourself to anyone else. That's a rookie move, right? Stop doing that. Too many people do it, right? Change your mindset. Let's change our mindsets. Just turn everything into, there's nothing wrong with seeing what someone is doing and, having sort of a little radar so you can know where you're trying to hit, you want to get there. But when you don't achieve a goal, or you do achieve a goal, more so, I really see that in more people. They'll achieve a goal that they've set out for themselves. They'll be happy for a second, and immediately they'll think about someone else that has done it better. Don't do that. You're setting yourself up for failure. You're not building that confidence that you need to do something bigger and better, right? You don't know how long that person's been working or grinding or hustling trying to achieve that goal. So what if they've been working 3 years longer than you? What if they've been working much harder than you? It's possible, right? So don't compare yourself to other people, right? With that, celebrate all of the small victories until you get to a big victory. I see too often people, they set goals for themselves, but they'll set the goals a little too big, right? They'll set them a little too big, and they just get caught up on that. Let's say if it's and I shouldn't say too big, they may set a long-term goal, but they're looking for short-term results, right? So if they set a 2-year goal, they're expecting, to hit it in 6 months. When that doesn't happen, they're getting frustrated, and you're still 18 months out. And that could be a very frustrating season of your life if you haven't really set up the proper benchmarks and landmarks along the way, right? So celebrate small victories along the way while you're having big goals. You definitely want to have small stuff in there set up so that you can, gain a little confidence, gain a little more confidence, gain a little more confidence, so you can continue to move and work towards those goals. That's one of the biggest things you'll see. So many successful people always talking about, some of them seem arrogant. Me and my wife talk about this often. Some of them seem arrogant, cocky. I tell her there's a fine line, right? You have to be borderline cocky, arrogant, I think, to achieve great things. Because if you don't believe you can do it, if you're not working your butt off every single day, it's not consuming your thoughts, you don't have a maniacal work ethic to achieve your goals, you're really not going to achieve them, right? Obviously, you guys know I love sports. One of my favorite players of this time is Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant is like the MJ of my time. I remember MJ playing a little bit, but Kobe Bryant, right, in his prime, I remember during the off season. So when he's supposed to be relaxing a little bit, getting ready for next year, he used to do this workout, and he phrased it the 666, right? Bad number, I know, but it was Kobe used to work out for 6 hours a day, 6 days a week, right? And I don't know what the other 6 for. I think it's for 6 months out of the year or something. That was during the off season. But so 6 hours a day, 6 days a week, right? That's on top of what he was doing when he was traveling during the season. Guys, people don't work like that, which is why now I'm not saying he wasn't talented to begin with, but he's worked hard. 6 hours a day, right? 6 days a week. There's people that work regular jobs that don't do that, right? They sit at their desk for 4 hours, right? So make sure that you are working very, very hard, right? And you're celebrating those small victories. If you only see the long-term goal, you don't see the small steps it took to get you there, it's just going to be a bad path, right? And one of the other things, be careful who you tell your goals to. Be careful where you post them, right? Because our brains act in funny ways, right? When we post that I'm going to lose 10 pounds this month, you're going to get likes. People are going to say, yeah, go for it, blah, blah, blah. You're getting all this affirmation and stuff for no reason, really. Just for setting out on a goal, but you haven't done anything. Our brains sort of take those affirmations, whether they're, really helping us or not, they take them, okay, I'm doing something right. I'm doing something right. Which is why we see people on Facebook all the time posting stuff that they're really not doing because they like, Zuckerberg has us tricked again, People want those likes, and they want those hearts, and they want all those faces Facebook just put on there now, right? So be careful who you share your goals with, right? There's nothing wrong with sharing them with everyone, but you don't need to post everything on Facebook, right? But we do want to be vulnerable to people, right? Put yourself out there. Not many people are vulnerable with other people, right? Why? Because no one wants to look stupid. No one wants to feel stupid. The Daily Dose has been a thought in my mind for about a year and a half. but I was just a little too embarrassed, a little too afraid to do it, right? If I'm being honest. I remember telling Christina about it plenty of times. She's like, oh, you should do it, you know? It's like, no, because, you know, what are people going to think? Is anyone going to watch it? And then at the end of the day, what if no one watches it? Oh, well, you know, what if no one likes it? They can defriend me. They can not watch it. That type of stuff. So be vulnerable, because it's good for others and for you to see yourself fail, right? There's nothing wrong with failing, right? But people need to see that. Too often people, you know, they see the guy at the top, the guys, the girls at the top, and they think that it's been all roses and berries and cash falling out trees, but that's definitely not the case. You know, most uber successful people have been through the trenches, right? They've worked hard to get there. So be vulnerable, you know. When you fail, share it with someone. Don't be embarrassed, right? Share it with someone so they can understand, so they can be there for you, so you can have someone to really talk to, because that's important. You know, failure is just as important as success, right? If everyone just succeeded all the time, this world would be a worse place, all right? So make sure that you are sharing your goals with the right people, and you're being vulnerable, right? Let people know that it's not all peaches and cream, right? So, but tomorrow we're going to talk about the power of broke, right? The power of broke is, if you haven't started reading it, just read a couple chapters. We're going to have a special guest on here, and I'm excited about that. You guys are really going to like this lady. She is, she's one of my gym members, so some people will know her, some people won't, but it's going to be a good time. So I'm going to get ready to get out of here. Hope everyone has a great day, and remember, 11:45, Monday through Friday, the Daily Dose. Tell a friend to tell a friend. All right, I'm out.